we performed for Michelle Obama off-Broadway, and she came backstage and she hugged every member of the crew and said it was the greatest piece of art she had ever seen, and that she promised she was going to send her husband and her daughters, and so she fulfilled that promise today. And it was completely surreal to have them in the audience, and just, yeah, words can't describe, really, to be doing that show for him with this group of people. It was just like at a preview.
It was my first time seeing the show on Broadway, and I can't have dreamed a more incredible audience with which to see it. To watch a story about the first 4 presidents with the latest in the line of succession, it was pretty wild and pretty unforgettable.
It's always slightly nerve-wracking to perform for Lin, just because, you want to show him his work at its best, but that's only just because he's Lin. He said a really beautiful quote, and I can't remember what it's from, but right in the prayer right before we did the show, he said that there's nothing that you could do that would disappoint me. He said that to all of us. I mean, that's just, his spirit is so generous. So there's no burden. It's all love. And there's a lot to love about Lin-Manuel Miranda.
It amazes me. I'd sometimes think about how just full his brain must be, because he's thinking about lines and words and music, but he's also thinking about beats and orchestration and big picture and his performance, and he's just a master. He's just such an inspiration, and he's also such a lovely human being, and that goodness and kindness and generosity of spirit is all over the show.
We've just kind of sharpened and clarified. I would say it's about 15% different than it was at the Public.
Lin and Tommy and Andy and Lack, they never make a change that they haven't thought about, that does not make the piece shorter or smarter or tighter, So it's just that kind of trust. When you can have that kind of trust for the people on the other side of the table, makes my job a whole lot easier.
I think with a show like ours, reflective of what our history is and where our future can go. I think we're making some new mistakes, but we're making some of the same mistakes as a society. And I think that it's a breath of fresh air to be able to see a company that looks like ours, doing the music that Lin has written beautifully, staged with Andy and put all together by Tommy. I think it's the right time for it. It's hard to define those kinds of things, but you know it when you're in it.
Again, it's an enormous credit to Tommy Kail that he keeps the temperature inside the room the same, no matter what the temperature is outside the room and in the world.
In a lot of ways, it's exhilarating. I mean, everybody wants to be in a show that people want to come and see. That's sort of the whole point. So it's nice to be one of those shows. Once we get to work, we're at work. Once we get inside, it's us, and we're doing the show for each other and for Lin and Tommy, and to do it to the best of our abilities. That part doesn't change.
We're all just feel really grateful to get to do this show, and I feel like I'm in one of the greatest companies ever assembled. I'm in awe of the talent I get to work with every day. So we all have our heads down.